Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for Monday the 19th of April going through until Sunday the 25th of April 2021. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today as always. I'm going to give you a rundown of what's going on this week, what the planets are doing and what energy they bring up. The key words that kept popping out at me when I was looking at this horoscope were duty, obligation, control and bullishness. So keep that in mind. We've got a lot of energy in Taurus this week. So I'm going to go through each day and see what's going on and how it's going to affect all of us. First of all, Monday the 19th of April, we've got the Sun going into Taurus. So happy birthday to all the Tauruses out there. The Sun is really what gives you a sense of drive and control and power. And Taurus is the second sign in the zodiac. It is about controlling things, fixing them as such, making sure that you get your way, that they suit your needs. It rules money, it rules creativity, love and beauty. It's ruled by Venus, the planet of love and beauty and creativity. And it's also very connected with the earth. So anything with crystals or design or the body or the way things look, all of those things are very much aligned with Taurus, and because the Sun is in Taurus, you're able to access all of those things quite easily. So if there's an area falling within those aspects that you're interested in, where you want to make some changes, use this Sun in Taurus energy to adapt your circumstances to meet your needs. We've got the Cancer Moon forming a trine with Neptune in Pisces. So the Moon rules Cancer, it's very happy in Cancer. The Moon in Cancer is very intuitive, it's nurturing, and Neptune is the water planet of dreams and intuition. So those two really expand your inner world. It quincunxes Jupiter in Aquarius, the lucky planet in the sign of the teacher, the humanitarian, and opposes Pluto in Capricorn. So that's transformation and change. Again, Capricorn is an earth sign, so change in a practical earthy way. Mercury, the communication planet, also goes into Taurus. So the way you communicate and the way you think is very literal, it's very grounded, and it's very much focused on what I can see and feel and measure and hear. So on Monday, overall, you feel very grounded, obviously with all this Taurus energy, and you are able to make practical changes, whether that's in your work or the way things look or your routine, your daily schedule. You're really able to adapt that to meet your needs. Your creativity will be heightened, but you may find yourself distracted by a sense of duty and obligation to take care of circumstances that are outstanding or to take care of other people. So things may also be taken very literally. There isn't much natural appreciation for kind of grey areas or nuance on Monday. So if you are sharing something or if you do need to express yourself, be as clear as you possibly can be when articulating things, because you are going to be taken at your word. So if you tend to say things differently than you actually mean them, if you use irony or sarcasm, try and minimize that, because it's going to go over a lot of people's heads and people will take you literally. On Tuesday the 20th of April, we've got the Moon going into Leo. The Moon in Leo is far more outgoing than it is in Cancer. It's not so concerned with the intuition. It's concerned with having fun and putting you in the limelight, getting some attention, having a good time, being a leader and taking other people along for the ride. The Leo Moon opposes Saturn in Aquarius, so the planet of the rules and structure, in the sign of the humanitarian. So it may feel like you against everybody else in a sense. It trines Chiron in Aries, so doing it your way may promise to be very healing. So that kind of puts you in a headspace of my way or the highway. It squares Uranus, the planet of chaos and structure, Venus, love, beauty, creativity, Mercury, the communication planet, and the Sun, your identity, all of them in Taurus. So change in a practical way, being able to create, being able to communicate, to make decisions, and to feel a sense of power, all from your practical circumstances. So that's a lot. So you really need to make sure that your circumstances suit you in a way, and that you don't feel like you're completely in the wrong situation. So if you can adapt that to a certain degree, if you can decide what you're going to be doing on Tuesday, it's really important that you support yourself via your environment and your practical circumstances. So on Tuesday, with that moon in Leo, you will feel that you can lead and influence other people. You'll enjoy the limelight and the attention that comes with it. Your environment, like I said, does have a really, really strong influence on you. So you can't just live in anything or be surrounded by any environment. It's really going to have a strong emotional effect on you. If you are in a place that you're comfortable with, you can really thrive and blossom. If you feel out of place, you may retreat into yourself and you may start to focus on the wrong things for this sense of security and control. So if you find yourself nitpicking at details, start over, because that's a really strong indicator that you're worrying about the wrong things to give you this sense of control over things that are really trivial and that don't matter in the big scheme of things. So make sure that you feel a sense of freedom and like you do have the space and time to flourish and to open up. If you find yourself really obsessing over little things, you've gone down the wrong track. On Wednesday, the 21st of April, we've got the Leo moon opposing Saturn in Aquarius. So the moon, remember, is how you feel. So the Leo moon wants you to enjoy and to put you in a position of power, and it wants you to get a round of applause and some positive attention. Saturn in Aquarius is an outer planet. So if you think of the moon as this very personal inner energy, Saturn is really the opposite almost, because Saturn is an outer planet that's about the rules. It's not so interested in feelings. It's about the structures and, again, the literal securities you have in life. It's in Aquarius, so it puts a lot of focus on the opinions of other people, on rules, regulations, what you can and can't do, and also what your duty is, how you need to spend your time, and how you need to contribute something if you want to feel important. So Saturn in Aquarius kind of says if you want something from other people, you're going to have to deliver something or give them something free of charge. And the Leo moon doesn't say that at all. The Leo moon says please yourself, and you have a lot of value in here that allows you to lead other people. So the two are really fundamentally opposed, and they do sit 180 degrees away from each other, so there may be some friction there. The Leo moon also quincunxes Neptune in Pisces. So we've got Leo, fire, Aquarius, air, Neptune in Pisces, the water planet in a water sign. So we've got different elements here and no earth. And the big theme of the week is really this earthy, grounded practicality. So Wednesday may feel very different and may throw you a little bit because of that. So ultimately, the combination of these different elements and planets, it's a great energy, and it's a great day to determine what it is you actually long for and how you can manifest that within the confines and obligations of your life. You don't need to feed into those and be busy kind of doing your job all day long. You do have the time and space to think for yourself and to say, hey, what do I really dream of for the future? So you're independent, you're confident, and you're able to rise above this sense of obligation. You have an appreciation for the abstract and imaginative. So this is the one day where you're not as literal and other people aren't as likely to take every word as the right meaning. It can be really difficult. You know, if you do speak in a certain way that includes irony and you don't always say what you mean, some people just don't get that ever. But on certain days, when you do speak like that, you notice that, wow, this really isn't going down very well. I had that experience when I moved to Australia. The way I speak was like a foreign language to people for some reason. It just didn't go down very well. So that's the kind of disconnect that leaves on Wednesday the 21st, because there's more appreciation for the abstract and the imaginative, and there's just a natural connection and understanding of the meaning behind the words, rather than just saying, okay, this is the text or this is the sentence, that's exactly what it has to be. It's much freer and more understanding, and there's more room for interpretation. So things loosen up a little bit, they lighten up. It's a great day to do manifestation work, and to get messages from the other side. And that makes sense because if things are opening up, then you really can hear other voices, other influences, and you have the time and the patience to let those come in. So if you don't know what you want to do, or you don't know what you should be working on, what the next kind of area of focus should be, then have a word with yourself on Wednesday the 21st of April. There isn't going to be that sense of disconnect, like we don't understand you. Thursday the 22nd of April, the moon goes into Virgo. Okay, so we've had duty and obligation this week. Virgo is very much about that. It can be seen to be people-pleasing at times. Virgo says, I have to help other people, but it doesn't do that from a place of joy. It does it from a place of, I have to. If I want to get something out of life, I have to give something. And it takes it very seriously. And again, Virgo can become overly focused on the detail and can really miss the bigger picture because it's trying to manage every little thing. So with the moon going into Virgo, just be aware that the focus narrows. And that's good if you've got particular things that you've chosen the day before that you want to manifest and work on. But if you haven't and you're trying to set some goals, Virgo isn't going to help you with that. It's going to say these trivial, meaningless, tiny little things are super, super important, and that's what you should put all your energy into. So if you do feel kind of directionless or aimless, try and set some areas of focus before Thursday, because Virgo will help you get there, but it's not going to help you brainstorm. The Virgo moon then trines the Sun in Taurus, so Earth and Earth, both Earth signs. It trines Mercury and Uranus in Taurus, so we've got everything in Earth, and Venus in Taurus conjunct Uranus in Taurus. Earth, 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 Earth. Okay. So the Virgo moon gives you this sense that you should be a nurse as such, not just career-wise, but it's your job to take care of everything and everybody. The Sun in Taurus says take control. Mercury is very literal again, so the disconnect comes back in via, well, you said that exact thing. Why would you say something that you don't mean 100%? Uranus is chaos and transformation, so that is interesting because things can really blow up even though you're focusing on all the details. Yeah, but that makes sense actually. If you give too much importance to the way things are, you can kind of disrupt them by just focusing on them too intensely and push them away to a certain degree. Venus in Taurus gives you the ability to create and for love and beauty to come in, and Uranus in Taurus, that's interesting because either there can be a new relationship, but that's kind of focused on the physical, or if you're in an existing romantic relationship, there can be a trivial, silly argument about a detail, something quite minor, and it blows up into this big thing between the two of you. So if there is something that's annoying or unresolved, before you launch into a big speech or argument, try and ask yourself, is this really important? Is this something that's meaningful in the long run? If not, and you can manage it, then try and skip over it. Don't focus on every little thing that you feel has been said incorrectly, or it's just not going to serve you. So the literal energy returns on Thursday the 22nd, and you're so grounded now with all this Earth that you may feel a little bit stuck. Focusing on the minute, trivial details isn't going to help. So sitting down and doing your bank statements or your account balance, paying your bills, they may make you feel overwhelmed and out of control because they'll appear to be much larger than they actually are. A better way to use the energy is to place yourself in an environment, again, that makes you feel comfortable. So your surroundings are really important. You're going to be influenced by your surroundings. So if you're in some horrible situation, you know, like a living situation, for instance, with mold, and usually you don't mind that, it's really going to start to grate. And if you can put yourself in a place that's beautiful, like going to a park if it's sunny and having a picnic or something, it may sound trivial, but that's the kind of groundedness that's really going to put you at ease and help you open up. So if you can surround yourself with people you like or even love, and if you can adapt your schedule a little bit to enjoy some leisure time in creating something beautiful, that's the best way to work with Thursday the 22nd of April. Kind of tapping into the Venus and Taurus energy, looking at what is gorgeous and what influences you in a positive way. Friday the 23rd of April, we've got the Virgo moon opposing Neptune in Pisces. So that axis, Virgo and Pisces, I always feel is a very spiritual axis. Virgo comes at it from an earthy way, so it tries to find some bigger meaning in the detail. And Pisces looks at bigger meaning by connecting with the higher realms. Both can work. I think Pisces has a better chance because the higher realms are not physical and tangible, so it's looking in the right place at least. But the opposition means that am I looking at the details and my clothing and my arm and my car, or am I looking at the bigger things and the creative? And it really creates a discrepancy now between the literal and the abstract. So you're somewhere in between that, whereas for most of the week it's been literal, except for Wednesday. So the Virgo moon also trines Uranus in Taurus, Venus in Taurus, and it quincunxes Chiron in Aries and Saturn in Aquarius. So we've got some air energy coming in now, and that creates some freedom to make changes in a practical way by trying to heal yourself and looking beyond the rules and expectations of others. Mars enters Cancer. Mars is the planet of drive and masculinity and what you want, and in Cancer it's much slower than usual. It's kind of Mars going home and lying on the couch rather than going out and conquering new lands and countries. Mercury in Taurus, literal thinking, and also making you very evidence-based. You know, if you're someone who's creative and you do think in an abstract way, when Mercury comes along in Taurus, you may find yourself really focusing on physical things that usually you have no time for. And you may find that very significant. Like a stupid example, a silly example, is just if you're in a relationship and you ask someone to buy you coffee, and you have a specific brand of coffee that you like, and they buy the wrong brand of coffee, that may suddenly seem like a huge message that that person doesn't understand you and love you. Because if they did, they would have bought the right brand of coffee and they would have remembered what you like. You know, things like that? So don't blow things out of proportion if you can avoid it. And Mercury in Taurus conjunct Uranus in Taurus. So things like that can really blow up into things which really destabilize your whole day, and things like relationships and the security that you have in life. So on Friday, there's so much going on that you may feel somewhat overwhelmed and confused. Do you stay home and take care of everyone else, or do you focus on your personal healing? So you can make progress in either area, but the thing to ask yourself on Friday is, am I doing this from a place of love and joy, or am I doing it from a sense of obligation and I have to? Try and focus on the love part, on the things that you really do enjoy. Those have the potential to grow. Going with your duty and obligation, those can really lead to resentment. And resentment isn't a happy place, so try and avoid that. Okay, moving on to Saturday the 24th of April. Mercury in Taurus now conjunct Uranus in Taurus. So the literal thinking and giving too much importance to physical objects and practical circumstances can really still be very disruptive to your life as it is already. Venus is in Taurus too, and it squares Saturn in Aquarius. So that may give you the desire to add something beautiful and to create something which is going to serve the greater good. The moon enters Libra, so that creates more balance and it gives you much more appreciation for the abstract. So we're coming out of this literal mode, and also it connects you with other people more easily. The Libra moon then squares Mars in Cancer. So should I stay home or should I go out and celebrate with other people? And it quincunxes the Sun in Taurus. So whatever I do, I need to make sure that I'm still in control. Okay. So on a public sphere level, what I got when I was writing the horoscope is that there may be some news from lawmakers on Saturday the 24th of April announcing more measures to control the public in the name of keeping us safe and protecting us. And the same thing can happen internally for you. Control may seem like the thing to pursue because it feels like an insurance policy. And if you have control over certain things, that is evidence and proof that, you see, your life isn't spinning out of control in some terrible direction and that you're on top of things. Ironically, the less control you exert, the better things are going to work out on Saturday, because you allow them to kind of breathe and take on a life of their own. The more you control things, the less likely they're going to work out in your favor, because you're kind of choking the life out of things, and you don't have the whole bigger picture. So the control is really inappropriate. So if you can try and let go to a certain degree on Saturday, that's going to serve you and work in your favor. Finally, Sunday the 25th of April, we've got Venus in Taurus forming a square with Saturn in Aquarius, so still this desire to contribute. Mercury in Taurus conjuncts Venus in Taurus and squares Saturn in Aquarius. So you can really learn something from other people, practical skills, tangible information. The Libra moon opposes Chiron in Aries, so do I heal myself or other people? That creates confusion. And it quincunxes Uranus in Taurus, Mercury and Venus in Taurus, and Neptune in Pisces. So, do I dream or do I focus on the evidence? Do I blow things up or do I secure them? There's a lot of room for error on Sunday and a sense of, oh, do I go left or right? I'm not quite sure. The Libra moon trines Saturn in Aquarius, and that gives you a tendency now to listen to other people and to say, okay, well, if they say it's true, it must be. And that's not always great, but the way to use that is to, okay, well, at least I'm teachable and I'm willing to listen to other people, and therefore education and ideas from others can really inspire you, and they can educate you, obviously, and give you new skills, and they can inspire you to create something of your own. So learning from others on Sunday is much easier than it has been in the rest of the week, because with everything being so literal, there's really room for error and miscommunication on Sunday that really leaves. Love is in the air on Sunday as well, but it's still very focused on the physical. It's very grounded, it's very earthy, and there may be true love appearing because there's a strong physical connection, and that's it. So I watched something on TV a while ago, and the woman said, you know what, my first marriage didn't work out because I married the guy because he had a nice car and nice shoulders, and I was really attracted to that. I mean, you know, to each their own, but if you're just attracted to someone on that physical kind of level, what they've got and what they look like, physical attributes, it's not a real relationship, because you're ignoring all the other parts of the person, the spiritual aspects, the intellectual, the emotional. So if you do find that, wow, this is my soulmate because, I don't know, the arms are gorgeous, then just kind of hold off a little bit on that, or just be aware that you have the potential to be somewhat superficial on Sunday and not to kind of commit yourself fully to something like that. Suss it out first, give it some time to develop and to grow. So it's not ideal for finding a soulmate. Also on Sunday, ignoring personal doubts to keep the group happy, that's a big no-no. You are teachable, so that's good, but if you become like a sheep and it's like, yes sir, yes ma'am, whatever, that's not good, because that can really take you in the wrong direction. So if you do have concerns, voice them, and stick to your I don't want to use that word. Be certain in what you feel, and if you do have doubts, they're valid. And look at those and say, I'm not just going to dismiss my own concerns because I have experience and skills. They're here for a reason, and the reason is to prevent me from making mistakes that other people may not be aware of. So realize that you have information and experience residing in you that is valuable and important, and that other people may not have that same information. And that if you become a sheeple, you may be put into something that really isn't appropriate, and that you've already been there and done that. So rely on your own experience and say, hey, do you know what, this doesn't seem right to me, I'm not going to do it. That's much better than saying, yes, I will because you have said so. You have to then spend a lot of time undoing those errors and mistakes, and it's just a waste of your energy. So that is what I get this week. I hope that gives you something to go on. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, you'll see a button that says book your reading. Just click on that to order your reading with me. In my personal readings, I use astrology, obviously. I use the tarot and numerology. I combine all three. And I also use my intuition. So the way I'm a Virgo, and I'm a very earthy sun, like I'm a Sun Virgo, a rising Taurus, and a moon in Capricorn. So I'm a triple earth. So what I do in my readings is I read symbols. So the Jupiter symbol, and in the tarot, let's say the Queen of Pentacles. And when I read those symbols, I get the information from the card or the planet, and I also get a message from my intuition. And I don't ignore that message, I include that in my readings. And that's, I feel, is something that makes my readings more accurate, and that makes me good at predicting practical things. So if you have any questions about your birth chart, about what your life purpose is, what kind of jobs you'd be good at, if you're thinking of making changes and you want some clarity on what would work best possibly, what's coming up in future, what's kind of destined for you in spiritual awakening or relationships or finances, what you can do to change areas which really feel predestined, because we aren't, you know, not everything is okay. In the East, they believe that everything is kind of destined and written down, and we don't have much choice. We just go through the motions, right? In the West, we don't believe that. We believe that thoughts are things, and we can manifest our reality. And astrology sits in the middle of that. It says, okay, some things are destined. I mean, there's not much. Like, for instance, I'm 6'4". You can't change much about that. That's, you know, that's how I was born. Well, no, that's what I grew into. You can't. That's part of my destiny. You can't change that. But there are then certain things that I can change, about things that are more flexible and less literal and abstract. And by looking at the chart, you can really occupy that middle space and basically look at the best way of working with the things that you've already got in a positive, loving way, rather than torturing yourself about the things that you don't have. Okay, so if you do want to have me to have a look at your birth chart, your natal chart, and to answer any questions, then please do get in touch for a personal reading via the website gregoryscott.com. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe, and share the video online. Have a fabulous week, and I'll be with you for the daily tarot readings. We've got a full moon coming up at the end of the month on the 26th of April, so I'll make a separate video on that, and next week for the weekly horoscope. So have a wonderful week, and I'll speak to you soon.